Hi and welcome to Ryder Cup, the roundup. I'm Diane, Knox, and it's finally here. We're so excited. Now, over the next 3 days, we're going to be reviewing what's happened. We're going to be previewing what's to come, showing you some exclusive unseen footage and, of course, some fan interaction. Also, every show I'm going to be joined by a special guest here at Whistling Straits. Well, talking of my special guest for the first show, well, it doesn't really get more special than this. He was a member of the 2012 Team Europe at the Ryder Cup and a 3-time European Tour winner, Nicolas Colsaerts. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me. This is really cool to be somehow a part in this and share a few things.
So tell me your experience of being at Whistling Straits so far. What have you seen? What's the atmosphere been like in the build-up?
Well, I've been here a few days now, had the chance to walk the course, had the chance to see what the fans are like, and walked a few holes with the team as well. So the team looks great. It looks like the guys are happy to be here. They're happy to be together, and I think the course is gonna be one of the big actor of the week. It looks like a wonderful place and a great course to play.
I mean, the weather has been kind of up and down. We've had some sunshine, it's been cold. The wind has been howling. The wind's going to be a big factor here at Whistling Straits. You know, that's kind of good news for Team Europe.
It's exactly what I thought yesterday when I walked 10 holes with some of the groups. When I saw the two-club wind and the sort of links similarities to how we grew up playing back home, I thought this is definitely in our hands, and I'm very optimistic. Okay, that's good.
We're going to talk a lot today on the show about 2012 and your Ryder Cup experience, but being here, does it just bring back so many incredible memories of being part of the team?
Well, it's not just being here, it's every time I hear the word Ryder Cup, every hair in my body stands up. And but yeah, I was in Gleneagles. I did a few things in Paris last time, and it's something that resonates with me more than anything else. So it's special to be here again.
And you were part of such an iconic Ryder Cup, one that Europe won on US soil. So of course it's bringing back a lot of memories, and we're going to talk about the fans as well, because the divide of the fans this week is very one-sided. I'm sure you've seen that already being here for a few days.
Yeah, but honestly, the vibe and the mood of the audience is very calm, very quiet. You don't really hear any animosity whatsoever. So I think this is going to be a lot more in control, let's say, that some of the other ones that we've seen in the past. Now you're still going to have to feed off, you know, the noise that's going to be made around the golf course. I mean, you're still away, so you're still going to have the USA chanting here and there, and it's a nice thing to feed off.
Okay, and we spent time with the guys at the official team photo the other day. You said you walked the course with some of them today. Do you see that camaraderie? And I mean, they were having fun, they were laughing. The Team Europe just seems so happy to be here as a team.
Well, I mean, we always tend to do that wherever we play, at home or away. But it's true that it's one of the things that kind of comes whenever you see a group of these guys. It just seems like we're happy to spend time together. We're happy to play together. We're happy to laugh together, and therefore it's one of the big qualities that we have. We seem to come along in a different way that Team USA does, and maybe that's one of the reasons why we're so successful.
Okay, well, the practice rounds are over. We've had the opening ceremony, and the first round pairings, the Friday pairings, have been revealed. So Friday, round one is foursomes, and the pairings were announced at the opening ceremony. Right, Nico, we're going to talk about a few of them, and I think the standout pairing is the first match at 7:05 a.m. teeing off on that huge first hole. But we have from Team USA, Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth going against Sergio Garcia and John Ram. I mean, that is a huge match.
Well, excluding the fact that we all talk about the opening tee shot of the Ryder Cup and the build-up to this, you've got two very interesting pairings. You have Team USA with Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth, who grew up together. They played junior golf together. They know they're best of friends. And on the other side, you have a full Spanish lineup with Ram that's been firing all cylinders for a couple of years now. Sergio with the Ryder Cup experience. I think this is. I don't think we could have hoped for a better opening game in this Ryder Cup. Actually,
I know. With foursomes, who do you think is going to hit the opening tee shot then for each side?
Well, I'm not familiar with, who's going to putt more, who's going to hit, key tee shots and everything. I wouldn't be surprised if Ram goes first and just hit the first booming one at the gates. And on the other side, if you want to match up to that setup, it would most likely be Justin Thomas.
I think it's going to be emotional Team Europe have talked about the fact that Seve is such an inspiration to them all the time, and to have the two Spaniards on the first tee for the first match. There's all the nerves and the emotion that goes with that too, but as you say, the experience of Sergio and the fire of Ram, they're a powerhouse together.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really cool combination. I think the Ryder Cup last time would have probably made them grow together a bit more and understand each other a bit more, and I think the pairing them together is definitely a proof of that they can play together and they want to play together, and let's hope that it will be Europe's first point tomorrow.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about match 4 as well from the US, Xander Schauffele and Patrick Cantlay, and then for Team Europe, which is really interesting, is Rory McIlroy and Ian Poulter together. I was excited by this. I love this.
Well, let's not talk about Poulter because we all know the beast he becomes when he plays in this. Again, for us, I think what could be a magical foursome pairing with Rory being one of the barons of tee to green, and Poulter, if the putter shows up, can basically just make every putt he looks at. On the other side, Cantlay just won the FedEx, and Schauffele, who's won the gold. You've got a really solid American team as well, which is probably a great matchup in foursomes if you look at the DNA of every player in this game.
Yeah, and we almost expected Stricker to put Schauffele and Cantlay together because they'd been seen together on social media. They were obviously bonding, going on trips with their significant others. But we talk about this other side of Poulter coming out in the Ryder Cup. I think it affects Rory that way as well. I think we see like a really sparked up, geared up Rory. Well,
yeah, anytime you're around Poulter in this environment, you're going to be pulled the right direction, let's say. I remember walking out of the locker room when I was out to play my singles, and he just looked at me in my eyes and no words were needed. So he's a very interesting character, and as we know, when he puts the jersey on, he's just a different man, and I think this is going to be another opportunity for him to show how good or how much the Ryder Cup means to him.
Now, Nico, we can't talk about Friday Ryder Cup without talking about you in 2012, because that was your epic day. We're going to talk about that more later, but you were playing with Westwood that day, and it must be great for you to see him competing in the Ryder Cup.
Well, yeah, just not me. When you have somebody that plays his 11th, I remember I was a junior in Valderrama, and I saw him hit a few shots when I was there. So you're talking about somebody that has made history in this competition, keeps playing to an unbelievably good level, has taken young guys on board. He's basically just proven everything in this competition. So I think the rest of the team looks up at somebody like Westwood. And he's one of the main characters of our team. Talking
of that, how do the experienced guys really help the rookies?
You need the older guys to explain to you what can happen, what's gonna happen, so you are not caught by surprise. The first tee is just right behind us. That's where you want that arm around you and go, it's okay, I got you. And it's exactly what Westwood did with me. So. Even though he's playing with Fitzy, Fitz, I've just heard, almost feels like he's playing in his first one because he had forgotten everything that happened in his team. So he's going to use that experience and take on that role with Fitzy tomorrow.
Okay. Well, talking of the experienced players, I took a walk to that first tee with a very familiar face. The walk to the first tee at the Ryder Cup is filled with excitement, nerves, anticipation, and it's a dream for many. It's a walk that's been done by this man, Henrik Stenson, many times before. What are you starting to feel when you're about to make your walk to the first tee?
I think it's a combination of excitement, nerves. I mean, it's a big round of golf ahead of you, no question about that. And if you're out earlier on Friday morning, you got your teammate with you, and you just want to make that walk together with your teammates, and it's a lot to look forward to, but a lot of emotions at the same time. And as we come to the top of the stairs, we're up here on the bridge. You obviously see the back of the grandstand. You hear the noise from the crowd. And it is a different noise that you're going to hear when we play in America compared to playing in Europe. And you just get ready to get strapped in and get ready for the day's work. So we're obviously here by the putting green, which is the last practice area before heading to the first tee. But you better communicate with your partner. Most of the team members are going to meet up here on the edge of the putting green, and then making this walk obviously together.
Okay.
Down the hill. I think taking a few deep breaths is going to be a pretty good idea, and chatting with your partner. I mean, that's the beauty of these first 2 days. You got a team member with you, and you're playing together. So interact with him and just enjoy this walk. It's going to be loud. It's not going to be like in Paris, obviously, for the guys who play there. You're going to get a slightly different reception, I'd say, when you walk through that tunnel. So we're here, we're entering the gauntlet. It's the last stop before you're stepping onto the first tee, and it's going to be loud, it's going to be cheering. It's nothing quite like it, and I almost get goosebumps just thinking about it now, even though I'm not even going to play tomorrow. So it doesn't get much better than this. It's adrenaline. You might not feel your legs, I don't know, everyone reacts different, but it's just an amazing feeling, and good luck teeing up the ball, and remember, go Europe.
Nico, did that bring back some memories, seeing that walk to the first tee with Stenson?
Well, yeah, the walk to the first tee is, I mean, it's your first time where you're going to be seen, with the logo on your chest, and the meaning it has, and the guys are going to feel their heart pumping, for the 100 meters walking into the big stand. So it's a special moment. It's very scary.
Okay.
Very, very scary. You see yourself in it 50 yards. Your knees are shaking. It's a very difficult thing to do, but there's no, you can't turn around. Yeah,
when we did it earlier, actually, there were only a couple of fans in the stand, and I felt it. I felt the goosebumps, and just as Henrik was explaining it. Talking of the fans, we were completely outnumbered this week. We're in the US with all the COVID restrictions on travel. There's not a lot of European fans that are here, and the ones that we talked to quite a few of them, but they live here. Their journey's been relatively easy. Do you think it's going to have an impact this week?
Yes, it might. The atmosphere is going to be maybe a bit different than it has been the last couple of years, maybe to our advantage, or maybe some of the older guys are going to feel a bit flatter, which maybe will allow themselves to be a little bit more cool under certain circumstances. I think the respect between the players and the fan would be higher than it has been the last couple of years.
What about your experience in 2012? On US soil at Medinah? What were the fans like then? Do you see a difference?
Oh yeah, Chicago is known to be a boisterous, crowd, and it was very difficult at times. But I don't remember much of the first day because I was so much in the zone. But the fan interaction is different when you play in Europe for the Americans than it is for us when you play over here. It's just part of the gig. And that's why it has been very satisfying to win on away games.
Yay! We keep saying whenever we were talking to European fans, we're going to be a small but mighty crowd. So we're just going to have to be extra loud. And we've had a lot of Americans that have come up to us even. They're saying, we love your team. team, we love your guys, we want to support you. So I think that the way that they've been, and the fact that, as we were talking about earlier, they always look like they have such a great time together, it makes people want to root for them.
Well, people just like winners. Yeah. Not to get out of line here, but yeah, American people likes winners. I think even though we've won these, we've always giving the people a good show. And in the end of the day, this is what it is. Yes, there is a huge rivalry between the two teams, but there's huge amount of respect as well. And when you can translate that into fan interaction, I think it becomes a big part of it.
Mm-hmm. I think as well, what Captain Harrington did with the guys had the cheese heads on them. Their outfits that they wore on Wednesday for the practice rounds were the same colour as the Green Bay Packers colours. So they've really done a lot to get the Wisconsin fans on side, and it hasn't gone unnoticed. I think they really appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if I was somebody from the area, you come here, you see the European team coming over and being nice with everyone, supporting the colors and showing respect to the host. I think it's part of the spirit of this competition. And like you say, you get to see that on people's faces from outside the ropes. And who knows? I mean, maybe we might be able to turn around a few of their fans into.
Exactly. Okay, well, we've talked about the teams, we've talked about the course. The only thing we haven't talked about so far is the Ryder Cup itself, and it made a very special journey to Whistling Straits. So we put out on Twitter with the hashtag #AskNico for some questions, and I'm going to rattle through them. The first one, obviously, I'm excited to hear about, but what do you remember of that amazing match with Lee Westwood at Medinah?
I remember everything. How long do we have?
No, please tell us everything.
Well, I remember every shot. I remember every putt. I remember what was said. I remember where they hit it. I mean, listen, when you play possibly your best round ever, your first game out of the Ryder Cup, it'd be a shame not to remember everything about it. But what an amazing day.
I mean, I think what is so cool about it now is that you were playing against Tiger Woods and Steve Stricker, who's the US captain this year, and you were playing with Lee Westwood, who's in the Ryder Cup this year. You played amazing. It was lights out. 8 birdies, 1 eagle, and as you say, the best round you've ever played in your life.
Yeah, it's funny because you start off thinking I'm a rookie, all I want to do is a small contribution here and there, and you end up stealing the show against, one of our, biggest Ryder Cup player, against possibly the greatest golfer in history, and Stricker, who's a captain now, who also has an incredible Ryder Cup CV. So it took, that mindset of just doing a little contribution here and there took off the steam of having to perform, and I think they've learned also that if somebody, even a rookie, says I want to play with that guy, they would maybe consider his opinion a bit more, just because you want the guys to feel comfortable out there, and playing with Lee, which was my choice, made my day a lot more comfortable and historically pretty high on my resume.
You say you remember everything. Is there maybe like one shot or one putt that you remember more than most?
Well, I mean, let's talk about 2 putts. I hold a putt for birdie on one of the par 3s on the back 9, which was I think 13, and it was my first uncontrolled reaction where I just burst out a yes, but it doesn't really come out. I mean, you can see the veins a little bit just coming out, and then obviously the one on 17, which was massive because then you're gonna get to 18, you at least have half a point, which was huge. And when Tiger Woods misses his one on 18, and you get your full first point in the Ryder Cup, where Lee Westwood hardly came in as a rookie, is something of course pretty special that's difficult not to laugh at.
Okay, that's amazing. What was the funniest moment in the team room that you remember?
The funniest moment in the team room, well, the party at Medinah was pretty special. Last player standing.
Well done, I'm proud.
Yeah. But, the team room is special. A lot of things happen, with the way that players look at each other. But the funniest moment would probably, there's a picture of me circulating around. It's on some of Caddy's phones, where I've got this huge Afro Jackson 5 wig, and thank God it's never made out on social media.
Yet.
Don't
speak too soon. What advice would you give to the rookies playing this year?
The advice I would give to rookies, don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't be afraid to raise your opinion. And as cheesy as it sounds, try to enjoy the moment, or enjoy the week, because it flies very, very quickly. Once the gun goes on Friday morning, you open your eyes and it's Sunday night. So my regret would be not to remember as much as the week offers. But yeah, for rookies, just enjoy the week. It might be the best, or it is actually the best week of your life.
It's going to be. We were talking about the walk to the first tee earlier, but someone asked, how do you prepare for that?
Well, you can sit down with the old boys. They'll tell you what's it going to be like, but the only way to actually find out is to go through it. There's nothing that can prepare you to the first tee of the Ryder Cup. You can talk hours with your sports psychologist. It's just not going to be enough. Once you're going to be over the ball, you're going to wonder, why did I get into this? Why am I doing this to myself? But once it flies straight down the middle, it's an unbelievable feeling. Okay.
And the final question, and you say that you remember the day vividly, but how many times have you watched The Miracle of Medinah?
A few times, yes, of course. Whenever I'm far away in a hotel room and I feel a little bit down, it's something that I easily click on just to remind myself who I once was. To have the possibility to go through these moments like that in a golfer's career is just it's beyond belief. It was always a dream of mine to play in this. But to get to see what I was capable of doing on that day is something I'm incredibly proud of. Of course, the official DVD is really, really cool because my dad's got a solid full 5 minutes with a TV crew following him on that first day. So that's a very nice gesture from the people that have put the DVD together.
I've got one quick thing. What's your number? Captain Harrington's so big on the numbers this week. What is your number?
I'm 147.
Cool number.
Yeah, it's really cool. I actually tweeted in a list of questions. It's the maximum break at snooker, as you all know, which my Belgian friends are not very familiar with. And my dad is born in 1947, so I have this thing with numbers that follows me. And I'm really proud to first have a number and have a number that's meaningful.
Oh, that's perfect. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being on our show.
No, well, pleasure all mine.
Well, thank you very much for watching our show. You can follow along with all the Ryder Cup Europe action on Twitter. We're at Ryder Cup Europe, and on Facebook and Instagram. Also the hashtags Ryder Cup and hashtag Team Europe. We'll be back tomorrow with another show after all the action on what is set to be a very thrilling first day of the Ryder Cup.